Welcome to Zoom Insight with another interesting story. Before start, subscribe the channel. In the small town of Willowbrook, there was a girl named Clara who loved stories more than anything else. Her books were her best friends, and her tiny bedroom was stacked with tales of adventure, magic, and wonder. But there was one thing Clara wished for more than anything: to write her own stories. One sunny afternoon, Clara wandered into the town market. Among the bustling stalls, she noticed an old woman with a crooked hat sitting behind a table of oddities. A small, glowing seed caught Clara's eye. "Gather. What kind of seed is this?" Clara asked. The old woman smiled. "This, my dear, is a story seed. Plant it with care, and it will grow into something magical." Clara's eyes widened. She exchanged her last 2 coins for the seed, hurried home, and planted it in her backyard, watering it with care. The next morning, Clara woke to find something incredible. Where she had planted the seed, a tiny green sprout had emerged. But this was no ordinary plant. The sprout had a small book as its first leaf. Clara gently plucked the book and opened it. To her amazement, the pages were blank except for the first line. "Into this cleansed hand he hath written in English, German, and French." Once upon a time, a girl named Clara discovered a magical seed. As she read the words, they shimmered and lifted off the page, swirling around her. Suddenly, she was no longer in her backyard, but standing on a golden beach where a pirate ship docked nearby. As she read the words, she wondered what she could do. When Clara returned from the magical beach, she was bursting with excitement. She tended to the plant every day, and soon it grew taller, with vibrant leaves shaped like book pages. Each time a new book sprouted, Clara found herself transported to another world, a kingdom of talking animals, a sky full of floating islands, or a deep ocean with singing mermaids. One day, Clara's best friend Ben visited. "You're always in your garden lately," he said. "What's so special about it?" Clara hesitated, but decided to show him. She plucked a new book from the plant, and together they read it aloud. As the words glowed, they were transported to a jungle filled with giant flowers and friendly monkeys. "This is amazing," Ben exclaimed. "Can I come back tomorrow?" Word of Clara's magical garden began to spread. Curious neighbors peeked over the fence, and soon her garden became the talk of the town. But not everyone had good intentions. That was a problem. One night, Clara heard rustling outside her window. Peeking out, she saw a shadowy figure sneaking into her garden. She raced outside and caught the thief red-handed. It was Mr. Grimsby, the town's grumpy librarian. "You don't understand," Mr. Grimsby said, holding a glowing book. "I've always wanted to create stories, but I've never had the imagination. This garden could make me the greatest storyteller in the world. It was light little wooden booties. It brightened the graveyard, making a beautiful gathering, and making it seem as if it were a living room. Clara thought for a moment. Stories aren't about being the best. They're about sharing and inspiring others. If you wanted to be part of this, all you had to do was ask. Clara had an idea. Instead of keeping the garden a secret, she decided to invite everyone in Willowbrook to contribute to it. She placed a sign outside her fence that read, "Bring a story, watch it grow." People came from all over, bringing their favorite tales, poems, and ideas. As they read them aloud in the garden, new plants sprouted, each more magical than the last. Some grew glowing flowers that sang songs, while others bore fruits that told jokes when eaten. Even Mr. Grimsby became a regular visitor. He wrote his first story about a lonely librarian who found friendship in unexpected places. One evening, Clara noticed a new plant sprouting in the center of the garden. Unlike the others, it was enormous, with golden leaves and a single shimmering book at its heart. When Clara opened it, she gasped. The book contained the story of her own adventure, how she had planted the seed, shared it with the town, and created a place where imagination blossomed. The final page read, "And so, the girl who loves stories learned the greatest tale of all, the one she lived." Tears filled Clara's eyes as the book's words lifted into the sky, forming a sparkling constellation of letters. The garden glowed brighter than ever, a beacon of imagination and knowledge for generations to come. Clara's garden became a cherished part of Willowbrook. Children grew up reading and creating stories there, and visitors from far and wide came to witness the magic. And every time Clara looked at the constellation in the night sky, she was reminded of the power of imagination and the beauty of sharing it with others. The story of Clara and her magical garden reminds us that creativity thrives when shared. Imagination has the power to connect, inspire, and bring joy to others. By cultivating and sharing your unique gifts and ideas, you can create something extraordinary that touches lives and grows beyond your wildest dreams. For more interesting stories, subscribe the channel